I don't like children. I want to kick it. Oh, I don't want a child. I think having a child is ugh. Or a lot of us can't even take care of ourselves. How do you expect us to take care of another human being? Why Gen Z don't want to have children? The question is, why do people want to have children? There are like few reasons why they want to have children. First of all, they just want to have a child. There are people who dreamed about having a child ever since they were a child. Some just want to expand their family and just enjoy parenthood. Some just want to have kids to create an now I have to work on my pronunciation. You know, inherits their company or like their wealth. Some people just want to have kids because of like social pressure. Let's say your parents want to have a grandchild before they die, or like you're surrounded by people who have children or just got pregnant, and then all of a sudden you have like this social pressure to also have a child or have like the need to have a child because like everyone has them around you. I'm gonna talk now about like people of color problems. Yeah, people of color problems. This one doesn't affect me because that's not what my parents want me to do, but I feel like a lot of people of color go through this where people ask them, oh, when are you going to have a child? You know, who's gonna take care of you when you get older? Like a lot of people just get children because they need someone to take care of them when they're older or like when they're retired. And I feel like a lot of people of color don't want this to like be a burden to someone, or like, oh yeah, you have to take care of me when I'm older. I mean, there are a lot of other reasons why people want to have children. If you know some, please let me know. There's like a bunch of reasons why Gen Z, it doesn't have to be like Gen Z, just the generation Gen Z. There's obviously millennials out there who also choose not to have kids, and even older generations, but like I feel like this is more targeted towards younger generation. I have like some reasons why people don't want to have children, and I'm pretty sure I'm going to forget a few, or like I don't know other reasons. So if you have any further reasons, please let me know. Reason number one, they just don't want to have a child. You know, that's it. That's a reason. No further explanation needed, right? Yeah, there's no explanation needed. If they don't want to have a child, that's it. You don't have to explain why you don't want to have a reason. I mean, you could explain, oh, I don't want a child. I think having a child is ugh. Or I don't like children. I want to kick it. A lot of Gen Z, I feel like they have like the urge to kick them. I knew a few of them. I knew a few who want to kick a child, or like have the urge to kick a child when they see them outside or when they're like loud. Do you know how much responsibility a child need? Like you have to have lots of responsibilities. A lot of us can't even take care of ourselves. How do you expect us to take care of another human being? Like, and then you have to raise it right. A human, decent being. Bare minimum. Have like respect, but also like set boundaries, but most people don't even know how to nurture a child, or don't want their children to feel a lack of love. Let's talk about like financial, you know, about being financial, a lot of us can't afford a child. Yeah, a lot of us can't afford a child. A lot of us have like debt because of like college or school, like in general. You have to be like financially stable. The reason why I'm saying stable is I don't want to have a child where I can't give like the basic necessities. Everything gets more expensive. But the thing is, our salaries stay the same. They don't get any higher. I mean, maybe in a few years it gets a little bit. No, not really. Um, Rent, food, clothes, all the things that you enjoy like as a free time, but you kind of have to pay for certain things gets more expensive due to inflation or like other things. I would say most of us can't even afford rent or like even buy a house, buy an apartment. That's why a lot of us still live in our parents' home, you know, and there's nothing wrong with that. Okay, to y'all people who think it's wrong or like you should be independent in your 20s. If you want to raise a child, you have to think of it like it is dependent on you. The moment you have your child, you have to feed yourself and that child. The moment you give birth, you have to feed your child. Let's not talk about like an infant, but like a toddler. The moment it is a toddler to like a certain age, I would say, you have to have 3 meals a day. You know, you have to cook. I mean, you don't always have to cook. You could also like take out, but like you get the point. You have to cook 3 meals a day for the next what? I would say 2 decades. You have to pay for their food, clothes, basic necessities, health insurance, tuition fees, their hobbies, like things they enjoy in their free time. And you have to kind of make sure that they have like some sort of money when they're a little bit older so that they could start to have their own life. A lot of people have like debt, or like a lot of us saw people who have or had debt. This is going to impact the child about like the upbringing, about money. The child doesn't owe us, we owe them something because we wanted to have a child, so we have to provide them the things that they need. And I feel like that's why many of us, if we ever get to be a parent, is we want to give them like the best thing. I know everyone says like, oh yeah, parents just want their best for their child. We really want to give them the things such as financial freedom, or like being financially stable where you don't feel guilty as a child, where like, can I have this? No, we don't have enough money, that's why you can. And then because of that, a lot of children think, oh, they associate it with like not being financially stable, and then they have like this guilt of like, oh, I got this gift from, let's say, our parents, and then it's like, am I allowed to have this because we didn't have enough money, or like as of right now we don't have enough money, so am I allowed to have this now? Are we like financially stable right now? Am I allowed to have this? And there's like this guilt, or like carry as a child. Yeah. Even if Gen Z or like younger generations, or like just in general people who want to have children, some of us can't have children because we can't really afford them. Even if we want to have kids, realistically, as of right now, in this economy, we can't afford them. Some people are just scared to have a child. They don't even want to think of like giving birth. Is that nerve-wracking? Yeah, if I give any misinformation and what, please let me know in the comments. Please let me know, because I don't want to be uneducated. You know how hard it is to give birth? There, a lot of people think like pregnancy is all fun, or like fun but also not really fun, and there's like a lot of people who think pregnancy is like the hardest thing. But I wouldn't say that. I would say like the post birth it is, because I don't know if you're on this side of TikTok, but a lot of women share their experience about giving birth, and I'm like, you know what? No, they're talking about like placenta, like taking, was it the placenta? I'm not sure. Please let me know. But like they would like go into your hoo-ha and grab the placenta out. Isn't that? Yeah. They would go in, grab it, and that's it. The amount of pain a woman has to go through throughout pregnancy and then giving birth and then post birth, no, hell no. A lot of women don't want to go through this whole process of like pregnancy, and like everything in your body changes, and then you know your organs are like kind of messed up. Not really messed up, but like a lot of women don't want to go through this pain of giving birth, and then you have to raise it right. Next is generational trauma. There's this thing called generational trauma. That means you carry 3 generations of trauma. Everything gets passed down to the next generation. Me, from myself, from my mom, from like grandma, and like great grandparent, mom, whatever, you know? Yeah, a lot of people don't want to have a child because of like generational trauma. And I know there's this thing called generational cycle, or like breaking the cycle. Let's say it like this. There are people who want or like try to break the cycle so that their child won't have the same trauma, which is a good thing. I love that about our generation. About like going to therapy. We as Gen Z don't want to like give generational traumas, especially because most of us have mental health issues, like either depression, had like suicidal thoughts, or like anxiety, social anxiety, and many more, you know? And we know how it feels to be in like the situation, and we don't want our child to be in that situation, or like we don't want people in general be in that situation. And that's why a lot of us don't want to have a child, because either they don't want to break the generational cycle and don't want to go through it, because like I don't want that. I don't want no healing. Let's stop this. I'm just gonna go not get a child. Let's talk about the environment. We have like it's not even climate change anymore. It's like a climate crisis. In Europe, it normally doesn't get to like 40 degrees, but the past 2 years, 3 years, I don't even know, it got to the point where it's like 40 degrees. And that's not normal. Also, was it last year? I think it was last year. Last year there was like a flood here in Europe, and that's also not normal. Like having these natural disasters in Europe is not normal. So like a lot of us don't want to have a child in like this environment. It doesn't mean like just climate, but like in a country that they currently live. Let's take the States for examples. Um, do you want to raise a child in a country where there's like school shooting, college is like unaffordable, and like please don't say like, oh, but there's like scholarships. Yeah, but you have to perform well to get a scholarship. And in order to do that, you have to like sacrifice your mental health and physical health. So no. Also, their healthcare system is like broken, as we all know. Everything is just about money, you know? And our school system is broken, I would say. Not you know, school system, like the whole system is kind of broken, I would say. Getting a job is it gets harder, you know? It's all about nepotism now. We love nepotism, you know? Women don't feel safe out there. All about this news about like domestic violence or rape, sexual assault, sexual harassment. Oh, here's the thing. That's from what I've observed online is that a lot of women don't want to have a child is because if their child was a girl, they would have to grow up in like an environment where men don't respect women getting sexually assaulted or like getting sexually harassed, rape and all of that stuff. They don't want a child to go through that. So that's another reason. Unless society, or let's say the system, some people in our societies are bad and some people in our societies are good. If it doesn't get better in the future, or like in the next few decade, not decade, but like yeah, the next few years, then I think a lot of us won't get a child. And I don't want to say it's selfish, because some people will think it's selfish, but like some people don't. So I don't know how I should express it, but some people say it's selfish to bring someone to this world, especially in like this current world that we're in, where like there's first of all war going on. Women don't feel safe, or like in general people don't feel safe, whether it is with religion, race, jobs, their environment that they're currently in, like, you know, those kind of stuff. I think we rather regret not having a child than giving birth and then you're like, oh, I regret having that child. I wish I didn't get a child. I think that's why a lot of us think like that, is I would rather regret not having a child than regret having a child. And then, you know, the child will feel guilty and then they will think, oh, it's my fault. Some of us didn't grow up in like a good or like healthy household, I would say, and that's why they don't want to have a child, because they're scared, not scared, but like they just don't want to have a household. They've seen it, they've seen like that toxic household, and they don't want to have that again in like the future. But like not you being the child, or but like you being the parent. And some people have like other priorities, such as their careers. And I feel like a lot of us, including myself, would have, you know, fur babies. And what I mean by that is either have a dog or a cat. Well, I want 2 cats and a dog. So here are some questions that I have. Do people want to have children because they like the idea of having a child, like an infant, a toddler? What about when they grow up? Do they also care about that child and then a grown adult? So like, do they also want to have a child that is grown up? Are you emotionally, mentally, financially stable enough to raise a human being? Because like a human being is expensive, you know? I think that's it for now, at least. If you have like more information or like more reasons, or like just want to tell your opinion about it, please let me know in the comments. And also this, please, oh my gosh, if you have a child right now and you're going to comment down like, oh, you know, I had a rough day, I was working all day and I had a rough work day, and then I just went home and I saw my child smiling at me, and now all the pain and all the fatigue that I have or that I had is gone. See, that's why you have to that's why you need to have a child. Please stop. No, no, no. That's not the purpose of this video, to comment down the things why you should have a child. This is a video about why the younger generation, not all, but most of them, don't want to have children. Okay, please, please. Also, please don't put any Bible verses down about like child, or like, you know, the purpose of a woman is to receive a child, to give birth. Don't do this, please. No, just because a person has a vagina doesn't mean their only purpose is to have a child or give birth. Okay, please, thank you. Okay, any further negative comments, I'm going to delete them. If there are like any negative comments that are like not passing the vibe, I guess, I'm going to delete that, because I don't want that, you know, there. You can give your opinions. If you do it in a respectful way, then I'm going to leave it there. But like, if you're like really if you're just disrespectful and like putting things with like Bible verses, or like, you know, certain things, I'm going to delete them. Okay, bye. Hope. Okay, yeah, that's it. I hope this was interesting, or like, I don't know. I hope it was interesting. I would like to do more things, or like more videos like this, where I just talk about certain topics. So yeah.